We need to talk about Leicester City, because Leicester City, I mean, what,
Mate,
7
where'd
years
you
ago?
start?
7 years ago, lifting the Premier League title. Everyone, thinking Leicester...
Won the FA Cup 3 years ago.
Well, yeah, that's it, isn't it? And look at the players. I mean, the players in that team, if you look at the 3 teams that have gone down, I don't know if they even know if there's one player that I would want Nottingham Forest to sign from Leeds. There's maybe a couple from Southampton. Obviously, James Ward-Prowse is up there.
Yeah, you
and
look at
Peters,
Lavia, maybe. But yeah, I know what you mean. In terms of the best teams to ever go down, I think this Leicester team are in the conversation. In terms of star-studded lineups, the West Ham team that went down will always be known for that. Players like Trevor Sinclair and Michael Carrick and whatever going down is huge. But like James Maddison most certainly is capable of playing in the Champions League. Yuri Tielemans, Arsenal were fairly close to winning the Premier League. They launched a very serious bid for the Premier League title. When you were talking to Arsenal fans in the January transfer window about where they need to replenish, they'd often say midfield, and they'd often say Yuri Tielemans. He's gone down. Like, I cannot believe that they've gone down. Like, I really can't. And when you think about the best teams to have ever gone, this is definitely up there.
Do you feel that there was something off with Leicester? This is what I feel. Like at the start of the season when Kasper Schmeichel left and no one really said anything. Wasn't that a red flag?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right to flag that. Something massively went wrong because he was ushered out the back door. Kasper Schmeichel was the personality of that team. He was a public face of Leicester City. Him alongside Vardy, they were synonymous with the club. And they were the senior statesmen in the dressing room. And having players like that around, it's so important. To go off topic slightly, just to demonstrate this point about Leicester, it's why Chelsea are so all over the place, because there isn't that senior statesman who's got a pedigree and respect of the club's traditions that insists on a certain standard being kept by everyone else. Schmeichel was that. And he not only did he go, but he went sort of without a whisper. We work in the industry, and it caught us out. It caught everybody by surprise. Nobody anticipated him leaving in the way that he did, and then they didn't replace him. I think bringing in Ward was, I don't think this is too extreme, but he's the worst keeper in the league, isn't he? After possibly Chelsea's 2 keepers. He's certainly in that conversation. Yeah. He's certainly in the conversation for the worst keepers in the league. So they've got it wrong. They've got it so wrong. I think they persevered with Brendan Rodgers for far too long, and that's why they've gone down. I think bringing in Dean Smith is fairly uninspiring as well. It didn't work out for him at Norwich at all, and then they've brought him and expected him to work miracles effectively. But realistically, the players need to hang their head in shame because there is enough talent on that pitch. And you look at certain fixtures where they've just gone, like, they've totally capitulated. And if you do that in the Premier League, it's very unforgiving terrain. They've gone. Yeah.
Do you feel that Leicester team is going to be completely different next season? Because the thing is that these players reportedly, and obviously really to anyone who's kind of seen the last few years for Leicester, as you say, being successful only 3 years ago by winning a trophy, these players are on a lot of money, and clubs are going to come and pick these players off. And I don't think Leicester can afford to keep some of these players there because, the money drop-off when you go to the Championship is huge.
Yeah, they probably don't have a relegation clause either, do they? Like, they probably haven't factored that in. Because it wouldn't be in their reckoning. No, I think, look, there is no way that somebody like James Maddison will now have to leave, for everybody's sake. James Maddison is far too good to be playing in the Championship, but equally, Leicester's finances, Leicester's turnover is going to take a massive hit that the higher earners on their books will need to be moved on. So they'll have a chance now to recoup some money. Tielemans will go, Maddison will go. I imagine that there'll be a bit of an exodus.
Yeah.
And then they'll have to look to do it again. I think that overall, Leicester have had a terrific ride. They've won a league title in probably the most glamorous, unpredictable circumstances possible. I think that it is the best footballing story ever.
Yeah.
I genuinely do. In fact, possibly sporting story ever. To win the league 5,000 to 1, it was just mesmerising.
Yeah.
And I imagine that Leicester fans this morning will have a heavy heart but say that they wouldn't change anything. You take a relegation, don't you? You take a relegation for a title and a cup win and a tour in Europe.
Yeah,
they went over to Seville. Their fans have had a wonderful ride, but it could be a long way back.